Hello and welcome to Do It Live Photoshop. In today's tutorial there will be two parts. The first part is I will show you how to enhance the overall look of this photo. And the second part is I will show you one very simple and easy step of how you can create your own puzzle style painting. If you want to go straight to the second part, you can check the description below for the second part. Let us begin with the first part. Open here is this photo of the girl. First thing we're gonna do is take the quick selection tool. With our quick selection tool, I'm going to just select the girl's hair. So make sure your selection goes very nicely and very smoothly around the hair. You don't want to miss any small beats. Okay, this first part is gonna take quite a long time, so if you don't want, just skip ahead. Okay, then I'm going to go click on select and mask to refine my edges. So I'm going to use the refine edge brush. Here I'm going to just brush these edges out. Well, first and foremost, not really first and foremost, but the reason why I'm doing this is because I love my students. Well, this is dedicated especially to them. So I'm going to just brush around the edges so that I can get all the corners of the hair. But make sure you don't overdo it. If you overdo it, sometimes the hair gets out of shape. I don't know. I can't help you there. Alright, so I think I'm happy with my selection of the hair. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK right here. So now I have a very nice selection of my hair. I'm gonna hit Ctrl J for Windows. If for Mac, use Command J. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl J to make a copy of the selection here and put it onto a new layer. So there you go. So now if you look at my layer window over here, or the layer window, you will see a new layer. So I'm gonna just change the name of this new layer to hair. For the next part, I'm gonna select the skin. But before you do that, make sure you select the background layer and just go ahead and select the skin. So what I want now here is just the face and the neck, the skin over here. And once you have done that, go ahead and go to select and mask again. Alright, so slowly I'm just gonna get by the neck over here. Sometimes it's just really troublesome to make selections. I hate this, man. In the name of Photoshop, go ahead and hit OK. That's quite a nice selection of the skin. Again, make sure you're selecting the background layer because right now I'm going to make a copy of this selection from the background layer. Bear in mind, don't you dare choose the hair layer, because if you choose the hair layer, nothing is gonna get copied because there's nothing on the hair layer except the hair, like this. So make sure you select the background layer and press Command J to duplicate the selection. And there we have the skin layer. I'm gonna just change it to skin layer. Next, I'm going to select the lips, which I think is quite dull. So I'm gonna just choose the background layer again. I'm gonna just zoom into my lips, make my quick selection brush a little bit smaller, and brush across like this. Let's just make it like that. Just make the brush smaller a bit. Hold down the Alt key, take away some extra selections, blah blah blah, like that. Alright, now I'm gonna go click select and mask, and I'm gonna just refine my edges around my lips. Yeah, come on here. Oh, these lips look sexy. Okay, and go ahead, hit OK. So I think I've got some nice lips. I'm gonna hit Command J to duplicate the lips. And I'm gonna change this layer to lips. So let's have a look at our sexy lips. I think I'd like it. Next, we are going for the eyes. Let's go for the eyes. Go again, select your background layer. But this time, don't use the quick selection to just pick the polygonal lasso tool. And we are gonna go click, 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 click. Just make sure you join back to the starting point over here like this, so you get a very nice selection of the eye. Now for the other eye, we're gonna just add more selection to this because we want both eyes to be selected at the same time. But now that we have already made one selection, we cannot start drawing a new selection. We need to add selection. So hold down the shift key. You have to hold down the shift key and a plus icon will appear on your cursor, and just click one time to start the new selection. So once you've clicked one time, you can release your shift key and go ahead to make your add selection. As you can see on the left hand side, the selection is still remaining over there. That tells us that we are making the add selection. So let's join back, and now you can see both eyes are being selected. To make things a little bit softer, let's go to select on top and go to modify and choose feather. Feather gives a soft feeling to the edge, and we are going to change the feather radius to 1 pixels and go ahead hit OK. And selecting the background layer, Command J, duplicate the eyes, and let's have a look at our eyes. Sexy eyes like this, don't really matter though. Change the layer name to eyes. Now we're going to rearrange our layers properly. So the hair layer will be on top, and on top of the skin layer we are going to have our eyes on top, and then our lips below the eyes layer. So you have the hair layer, the eyes layer, the lips layer, and the skin layer. So now we have all our layers set. So let's start with the hair. Select the hair layer, hit the adjustment layer, and go to curves. In the curves layer, look at that white mask thumbnail. I don't like it, so I'm just going to go right click and delete layer mask. I don't like it. In the properties window, I'm going to just create an S curve like this, make it brighter, and bring down like this. Alright, you can see that the entire image actually turns very contrasty. But I don't like this, so I'm gonna go at the bottom here and click on the clipping mask icon. So when I clip this, it will only affect the hair. When you give it an S curve, it gets really nice and contrast and heavy contrast. Yeah, like that. So now it looks more shiny, it looks shinier like this. Right, if I turn off this curve layer, you can see the difference. Going on to the next layer is the skin layer. Right click and go to blending options, color overlay, change the blend mode to normal. I'm going to bring up the opacity to 100 and change the color to a very pale orange, and go ahead and click OK. The reason why I'm doing this is because if I turn off the preview, you can see that by the neck here there's a little bit of bluish color. It looks like fungus, and below the nose, this girl looks like she has cancer. So that's why I'm doing this. So let's hit the preview and go click on OK. So now that I have this, I'm going to flatten this layer style by right clicking and choosing rasterize layer style like this. And with that, I'm going to hit the blending mode on top, which is normal, and I'm going to hit multiply like that. Oh shit, this looks like... Wait a minute, I think I made a mistake. Never mind, it's okay. Let's go hit the history window and reverse this, reverse this, reverse this. Reverse back to our original skin. I'm going to duplicate this skin layer, right click, blending options, color overlay. You can just copy this color code over here, F8E5D6, okay, which is very nice milky color. Hit OK, then hit OK again. Make sure that your blending effect is on the skin copy layer, not the skin layer. So right click on the skin copy layer and choose rasterize layer style. Change the blending mode of this skin copy from normal to soft light like this. So you see I get a very soft skin tone. Even the blue fungus, the blue cancer cell is gone. Now I'm gonna just shift and click my skin layer. So I'm selecting both layers and go ahead and click Command G on the keyboard to group these two things together. Rename this group as the new skin layer. At the bottom, choose the adjustment layers and choose curves. Again, right click, delete layer mask. Now over here, I'm gonna just brighten up the face a little bit, give it a little bit of contrast. Oh, I forgot the clipping mask. So now at the bottom, click on the clipping mask. So you get something like this, like a really nice effect. Oh, like that. Okay, lower down the highlights. Let's just bring down the contrast like this. Okay, bring down the shadows. So now this girl's skin looks really cool right now here. I think I'm falling in love with her, lol. Now I'm going to the lips layer. I'm gonna right click, go to blending options and choose color overlay, but this time I'm going to just change the blend mode from normal to maybe color, or you can choose multiply, but I'm going to use color instead, and change the color to pink color. Let's give her a very pink, yeah, like that. I like this pink, man. This pink is good, pale pink. So the color code is E96D9C, and go ahead, hit OK and OK. So now she has a really nice pinkish lips, good for kissing. So hit the adjustment layer again, go to curves again, delete the layer mask, create a clipping mask, and bring up the highlights a little bit, bring down the shadows. So yeah, a nice S curve, very cute, looks like L'Oreal lipsticks maybe, I don't know. Let's just hide the properties window, and we go next to the eyes layer. Select the eyes layer, adjustment layer, and again curves, delete the layer mask, hit the clipping mask. For the eyes, we're just gonna brighten it up by bringing up a little bit of the highlights. Look at that, man, I love it, you know. Now I'm gonna zoom in on the eyes. This eyes looks brightened up, yes, but we are going to brighten up the iris a little bit more. Select the eye layer over here, the eye layer, and I'm gonna pick the dodge tool, which is right here, the dodge tool. So the dodge tool allows you to create some highlights onto your skin. So pick the dodge tool. I'm just going to change my brush size to around 17, change the hardness to 50%. The mid-tones, I'm going to choose mid-tones for the eyes, mid-tones. I'm going to change the exposure to 15%. And I'm going to window and my brush window, I'm going to just take out the transfer over here and make sure your brush tip shape is this kind of brush and nothing else. So I'm going to just leave the smoothing on, hide the brush tool. Now let's zoom in and color our eye like this. So now let's go do it. Let's just draw the first stroke. Go forward, backward, forward, backward. Alright, release the first stroke. Go with the second stroke. Make it nice and brighter like that. Wow. Alright, now release the second stroke. Now let's do the third stroke. Alright, now you can see the pupil has been brightened. It looks so futuristic right now. Now for the second eye, it looks a little bit darker, so I'm going to just go to my mid-tones and change it to shadows. And here, I'm going to just draw it over here right now here. So now it looks brighter for the first stroke. And now release for the second stroke. This. And release it, and I think that's all. For the third stroke, let's do a third stroke, right? Anyway. Wow, okay. So that's our eyes. Oops, I think I overdid it, but whatever. Okay, you can just go experiment with it, make yours look better. This is just a demo anyway. Let's go back to our skin layer, open it up, and select the skin layer. Okay, not the skin copy layer, but the skin layer. Let's go repair some things. Let's do some makeup to our eyes. Now look at this part. This girl doesn't have enough slip. Let's choose the dodge tool. Change it to mid-tones. Let's change the exposure level down to 4%. Open up the brush window. Pull down the hardness to 0. And let's make the brush size a little bit bigger. And let's just brush out her eye bags. Yeah, let's brush out the eye bags like this. Don't do it too much, seriously don't do it too much. Just carefully brush it out. Okay, the effect won't be that much at all, but you will see some of the eye bags gone. Okay, so see, she looks more awake. Now for the other end, let's just change it to shadows on top. And let's just brush away some of that. Maybe let's put the exposure down to 2%. We don't want to brush it too much because the hair is blocking part of her eye, so it looks a bit darker. So let's just brush it slowly over here. Let's just brush away a bit. Okay, the effect is not really that much, but when I turn on the history window, you can see the difference like that. You can see there's a very slight difference. The eyes have become a little bit brighter, so that's good. Now I'm going to show you how to use the burn tool let's just open up the dodge tool and choose the burn tool. So with the burn tool, we can create contour to our skin. So let's choose the burn tool. I'm not the best at makeup, so I don't know. But anyway, let's just choose the range from highlights. Let's try with highlights first. And the exposure is how much you want to darken your skin tone. So let's put 6% for start. And let's just come over here. Let's make this part darker. So I'm just going to reduce my brush size. And I'm going to start from here. Let's slowly brush it a bit. Brush it slowly a bit by bit. Right, to create some contour to the nose. Make your nose look a bit sharper. And over this side, let's just brush it. Yep, let's just brush it. Brush it like that. Yeah, you can see the darkness coming out, man. And let's just make it a bit softer over here. Alright. Yeah, there you go with the burn too. So you see your face looks sharper. And maybe by the cheeks, let's make the cheeks a little bit narrower by brushing it. Let's go with mid-tones instead. And let's brush the cheeks. Let's just burn this side. Okay, I'm done. Alright, a little bit will do. So now we have our face ready. We are good to go. Now let's just close my skin group folder. Okay, now back to our hair layer. Select the curves layer this time. And I'm gonna go to adjustment layer and choose hue and saturation. Right click, delete layer mask as usual and create clipping mask. So as you can see on top of this hair layer, there is the curve one and the hue and saturation one adjustment layer. And both are clipped onto this hair. So it doesn't matter how many adjustment layers are on top of that layer. As long as they are all clipped onto this layer, they only affect this layer. So with the hue and saturation layer active, I can easily now change the color of my girl's hair. Let's just change it to this color to match the pink lips. Just upgrade the saturation. That's too much. Let's just bring it down like that. Alright, I'm happy. So that's it for part 1. We have made this photo look nicer. Of course, not the shirt, not the background. I didn't do that because I don't think I have enough time. Now let's begin with part 2. So part 2, we have to combine all these effects into a group. First thing, I'm going to duplicate this background layer. Just go and hit Ctrl J so I get the background layer out. And I'm going to just hold down my shift key and shift click on hue and saturation so that I select all the layers. I'm gonna press Ctrl G to group this thing together. Now I'm going to duplicate this group once. So I'm gonna go Ctrl J to duplicate this group. So now this group 1 below and this background layer are just my backup. So I'm gonna go to group 1 over here and I'm gonna lock this group layer so that I won't make any more mistakes. Now select the group 1 copy. I'm going to just go right click it and choose merge group. Now that I've merged the group, you can see that it becomes one single layer. Go ahead and hide group 1 and hide the background layer. So now this group 1 copy, I'm going to just change the name to final so that this is my final edition of my girl photos. And then I'm going to lock this layer so that I won't accidentally make any changes to this layer anymore. So now here's the official start of part 2. With this final layer, I'm gonna go Ctrl J on my keyboard so that I have a final copy layer. I'm gonna rename this layer to Pointillize, P-O-I-N-T-I-L-I-Z-E, because this is the effect that we are going to use to create our puzzle style photo. So with Pointillize, I'm gonna go and choose filter and going down to pixelate. In order to create our puzzle photo, we have to go to filter, pixelate, Pointillize. So choose Pointillize and here we go. One thing that you have to be sure is that over here in your color panel, over here you can look at my mouse cursor, make sure that your background color is always white. You have to keep this white because if you don't keep this white, it will create a color tint on top of your photo. For cell size, we're going to use a very small cell size like 3 and go hit OK. So this is what we get. This noisy grain actually creates the puzzle effect. Now just with one change of the blending mode, I'm gonna change this normal to multiply. There you go, your very own puzzle style photo. I hope you learned something today, and don't forget to share this video with your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.